Hi everybody. Today I am going to be talking about photography equipment. Yes, I know it's scary and very expensive, but this is definitely something you can build up over time. This isn't something you have to get everything all at once. You can use what you have to accomplish this macro photography or anything else that you want to do photography for. So I'm just going to jump right in and get started. So here I have two bags for my photography equipment. One is just like a little store, like not super little, but it just carries my extra stuff, and this is what I use for most of my photography stuff when I go out and shoot some photos. So I'm just gonna open it. This definitely carries everything I need. So if you can see here, it has all my equipment that I use mostly. So I have my diffuser for my flash, and this is like super cheap on Amazon. And here's my external flash. I hate using my flash that came with my camera, so I get this. I actually got that one on Amazon as well, and I got it for a wedding. And this was my first wedding that I did. And I knew I was going to need a flash because I knew the reception was going to be like at night and it's indoors, and they wind up dimming the lights even more. So I was like, I really needed something for indoors. So that's why I got this, and good thing I got it because it was raining that day. So we were outside in the rain and the cold, and this was definitely great to have. One tip, though, I would suggest, if you don't already have Amazon Prime, I would suggest you get it. It's like a yearly fee, so you don't have to pay month to month or anything. So this saved my life because I have Amazon Prime, and I got it 2 days before the wedding, and I was asked to do the wedding like 2 days before they got married. So save my life, and it will save yours when the time comes. So I got this. This is my external flash. Let's see. And something that I practice with so I can get the lighting right in different lighting situations. I practice when I can. You guys need this. If you are starting out and you don't know what to get, these are macro lenses for your lenses for your camera. So these just attached to it, and these are super affordable. Again, on Amazon, and there's like 4 of them come in a pack like this, and they're different magnification. Is that right? Yeah. So this one's the most magnified, and I keep them in the plastic just to keep them from scratching or getting dust on them. So I try to take care of them as much as I can. And it fits in this little pocket, like right here, if you can see right there. And I just carry it around. So you can use it for any lens that you already have. I have a few different lenses. Make sure you get the ones that fit the lens that you're using, because they come in different sizes, and this one actually fits my Sigma 55 to 200 millimeter lens, so this goes with this size. And oh, did I tell you what camera I have? No, I didn't. So I have a Nikon D3000, and it's a great beginner starter for camera. Sorry, camera. Yes, and I started out with 2 kit lenses, and that's what I've been using forever. And recently for Christmas, I got myself a couple more lenses, and I still use. Actually, I had to get myself one lens for sure, because when I did that wedding that I did back in November, I had my camera on my tripod, and the wind had blew over my tripod, and the lens that was on my camera, which was my Nikon 55 millimeter to 200 millimeter lens, and it broke. Like, I couldn't even use it. The autofocus broke, and I was like, it wouldn't even, I would go to take a picture and it would go zzz, like would make like a weird sound. So I got this off of Amazon as well, and it's just a Sigma lens. Sigma, and there's a few other like off-brand lenses that you can get that are just as good as a Canon and a Nikon lenses. You just don't pay the $500 per lens. So this is what this one is, and I accidentally got myself a manual focus lens, and I've not worked with a manual focus lens before, so I didn't know it until I opened the box and I went to try it. I'm like, oh my gosh, it doesn't autofocus, and I freaked out a little bit, but I was thinking about returning it, and then I convinced myself, no, this will be something good for me to learn and teach myself, is how to use manual focus lenses. And so far, they're really fun to use, and I actually got myself another one so I can just keep practicing with it. And they take some good pictures and teaches me not to rely on autofocus so much, but it's definitely fun to use. So there's this lens, and I have a bigger lens. This one is the 70 to 300 millimeter lens, and it's also a Sigma lens, and this one's an autofocus lens. I love it. Like, I take my own family photos with my husband and my son with this camera because it gets close and I can be far, like my tripod can be far away, and sometimes my son doesn't always want to be taking pictures, so once in a while we get those pictures that he's all like, eh. But this is another great one, and for Christmas I got for myself. I got this lens, and I love it when they come with these little baggies. Just, I don't know why, I just do. The Rokinon brand, and it's like, it's small, but it has like a wide diameter in the lens, and this is also a manual focus lens, and it takes such pretty photos, and I think it's a great brand. This is the only one I have of this brand, and I love it, and I try to use it when I can, because it's just pretty. But I cannot use my macro filters for these because I don't have one that actually fits the size, but I have this one's, what's the size? This little filter thing. I think this one is a 55 millimeter. So this would fit my 55 millimeter lens and my other one, I think, but not this one and not my big one. I have some wide angle lens attachments that I have for my bigger lens that I have, and it comes with the macro lens thing. So that's what I would use if I was using my bigger lens, but for this little lens dude, I don't have anything for it. So this one's just for regular photography, I guess, and it's fun. Like, it teaches me some discipline, that's for sure. And here is my camera body, and with the 3 lenses that I have in my bag already, I can't put a lens on it and store it in my bag, so I have to make sure I take everything off and everything apart, and I know where all my lens caps are at all times. So when I'm shooting, something, a person, portraits, or landscape or something, I always put my lens cap in my back pocket. So that way it's with me the whole time, and when I'm ready and I'm done to put my camera away or my lens away, I always have it, and I just screw it back on, because the last thing I need is dirt specks in my photos, right? Yeah. And sometimes little extra attachments come with them microfiber little cloth, so that's great for cleaning lenses and the inside of the camera. And I also have, from Amazon, is a little remote clicker, and this has been fun to use, especially when I'm taking my own photos of myself or my family where I'm in the picture. It's easy for me just to click or set my camera on self-timer. And since my camera is a starter camera, basically, I can't just set it there, or set it to self-timer, I have to go to the guide option on my camera, and that's how I have to set it with self-timer. So any settings and stuff that I have to make sure I set it all before I set the self-timer. And what else? Extra batteries. I always have extra batteries, extra batteries for my flash, and then an extra battery for my camera. And I always make sure they're like, these batteries are charged at all times in case I'm shooting somewhere and I'm like, oh no, my battery's almost dead. So I've had that happen before, kind of. I looked at my camera, I'm like, oh, I have 1 bar left on my battery. And I'm like, well, good thing I have 2 batteries. And I have extra little AA batteries for my flash because it runs the batteries like crazy if I'm using it all the time. And I always have spare SD cards. This is something you always want to keep with you in your camera bag, because sometimes you take a lot more photos than you think you do. And then if you only have 1 SD card, you're like, oh no, I can't keep photographing. You have to go back and delete, or you can just switch out the SD cards. So that's great to have. And I have, so everything mostly what I've gotten so far is off of Amazon, and except for my camera and my 2 kit lenses that I had. My husband actually got those for me a couple years ago for our anniversary, and I've been grateful ever since because I love taking photos, and that's what got me started, was the camera, the one that I have, and it's the only one I have, my DSLR camera, and I just love it. I definitely want to upgrade someday, but I'm going to save my money and do it when I can. But for now, that camera is good, and I'm so happy to have it and lucky to have it. So if you don't feel like, oh no, I don't have any of that stuff, I'm on a budget, that's fine. If you have a DSLR camera and you just want to go out and take pictures, you can just do that, and it's not going to hurt you any. If anything, it'll make you a better photographer. Yeah, like I said before, everything that I have definitely built up over time and not get everything all at once. But Amazon Prime is a good thing to have because sometimes you can get free, or on most things, you can get free 2-day shipping, which is great. And you get access to videos and music, but I usually just use it for, things that I really need, or things that I don't really need that I shouldn't be spending money on in the first place. Oh well. So another thing that I have that I would recommend investing in is a tripod. My husband actually got this for my birthday back in October, and it's great. And this is the smallest that it gets. It's like a 77 inches or something like that, and it gets really tall. And that's what I wanted, because I wanted, if I was taking photos of a bunch of people or portraits and stuff, because that's what I mostly do, having a tall tripod is great. But if you're wanting to stay cheap with a tripod, because this is like a good one, they do have smaller ones that you can find at Best Buy or, like I said, Amazon, and you can use it to set up, your little photography station if you're wanting, especially for macro stuff. If you're wanting to just set up your camera on like a tinier tripod and then take a photo, that's fine. A lot of people have those tiny ones. I don't have a tiny one because I don't know what I would really use it for, but I'm happy to have this big one. And yeah, but maybe one day I'll invest in some more equipment. But for now, I'm trying to save my money. That's for sure. What else? Oh yeah. Here is my other bag, and I don't have a Canon, but this is a Canon bag. If you're looking for bags to store, your cameras and lenses and all the other stuff, go to like a photography store or a camera store or something like that. And 'cause actually I got this bag on consignment because someone had brought it in and was selling and wanted to sell it. So, and I was kind of worried. Well, I wasn't worried about this bag before I found this bag, but I went to this local camera store that we have, and because I wanted a big one, kind of like this, so it'll carry all my stuff, but they were like $80, $90, and I'm like, I can't afford that. That's way too much. And the guy's like, well, I might have something cheaper, and he pulled out this bag. He's like, yep, someone brought this in, and they're wanting to sell it on consignment. And I was like, how much is it? He's like, $16. I was like, I'll take it because I don't think I'm going to find a better bag than that for what I needed it for at the time. Yeah, so this is one of my kit lenses, my 18 to 55 millimeter. And this one in my 55 millimeter kit lens that came with my camera. My camera came with 2 lenses, and that's what I have used. And I'm in college right now, and I'm finished up my last semester. And I dropped it. I took a photography class about 2 years ago or so, and we went on a photo excursion to a ghost town, and it was so fun, and I would love to go back, and it was great. But everybody there, because they're also students, they had like their nice cameras and their lenses, and we had definitely had an assignment that we had to get done while we were there. And for me, I just had my little Nikon D3000 in this lens and another kit lens, and that's all I had. So I just would carry around this bag and make sure I had my extra battery, my extra SD cards, things like that, because it was cold. And my teacher said, if you're like photographing outside in the cold weather, always have those extra stuff because the cold runs your battery a lot faster. So that's when I think that's when I signed up for Amazon Prime, because I was like, well, I need all this stuff by this date because we're leaving this day, and so I wanted to make sure I had everything I needed. And that's when I bought my first macro, those filters that I showed you earlier, and because we had to do some macro photography while we were there too, and that's the first time I used them, and I loved them, and I just got to practice with them and find different textures and get the trees, it was so pretty. So it's okay if you start out with simple stuff and you just learn, and remember that photography is trial and error. You're not going to do perfect every single time. I don't do perfect every single time. I still get those blurry images, but practice makes perfect, and that's what's important, right? So, again, this comes with a little baggie, so I keep all my stuff in a little bag, so that's great. Oh yeah, so I have more of, these is what I bought. So let's see. This one is, oh yeah, my other macro lens caps, or I don't know what to call them. So these one goes to the little lens that I just had in my hand, and that's what I used when I was at my photo excursion. And yeah, these fit perfect. They're light, they're not heavy. I can carry them around. They fit in my bag nicely, and yeah, I want to share with you guys, my experience with macro photography and finding what works and what doesn't. I think springtime and fall are probably my favorite times to do photography because it's warmer outside for one, and the colors are just so beautiful. You can get the best sunlight, and you don't have to do photography outside all the time. I've definitely done it in my own, my own little apartment, and just kind of work with what I had. Yeah, you just learn and you just practice when you can. And yeah, that's my wise advice. And remember, I am not a beginner, but I am not an expert on photography yet, but I'm still learning, and I'm still learning as I go. And Pinterest is my best friend for getting those ideas. Yeah, so that's all for today. I hope you guys enjoyed my equipment. I don't have a lot, and maybe one day I'll invest in a light, little, not a studio, but a studio light, so I can get some better light in my apartment, because sometimes natural light doesn't come through greatly. The light's not that great in my apartment, as you can tell. But yeah, so that's it. Bye. Thanks for watching.